afternoon to you all. Welcome to Women Rise. My name is Nayiga Madreen, and every Saturday at 3 p.m. we are always here on your screens at Civic Space TV. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch our shows. And I believe they are really impacting lives and changing a woman's life, mainly the young woman in society. Now with me in studio today, I have Miss Nakalema Shakirah. Shakirah is the team leader at El-PAL. It's a women's organization that aims at encouraging engagement of young women on policy issues through speech, panel discussions, debates, and mentorships. I think we have the right person for the show today because she's dealing with young women and basically encouraging them to take up these spaces through speaking up. Welcome, Shakirah.
Thank you very much for hosting me today. Well, good afternoon to our lovely viewers out there who are always passionate about watching this kind of shows.
Yes.
My name is Shakirah Nakalema, as she has said, and I am so passionate about young women, and I'm glad to be here.
Wow. We have the right person today in studio. And before we go into what Shakirah is doing, we need to know a little bit about Shakirah. Who is Shakirah? How do you describe yourself?
Okay. Well, I don't want to speak a lot of who I am, but I am a Muslim lady. I am married with one beautiful daughter. And I'm a person who is so passionate about young people, especially women and girls. That's where my passion is. And if you want me to feel so sad, just touch a girl child. Yeah, so I'm passionate about a girl child.
We shall see who Shakirah is.
Yes. So I love people who always frontier girl children in whatever they do. So whatever I do, I make sure they are part of me and the space I am.
Wow.
Well, I am a firstborn of my mother, but a 60born of both of them. Yeah, so because of a Muslim setting, usually there are kind of many other children out there. But being a first mother of my mother, I have been a deputy parent from the age of 16. And because I love being around children and young people, I never gave my mother a hard time. Because I made sure I listened to her. I had to help my siblings to either go with them to school, take them to school. Even when I joined high school, I made sure I'm always keen. What are they up to? Have they done what they're supposed to do? Like each and everything.
So the deputy role has not been
ever since up to date. In anything she can't handle, I am always able to handle.
Wow.
At least I do something. Yeah, so still Shakirah is the same person. When I was in school, I began my leadership journey from P6.
Oh, okay.
So in P6, I ran for a head girl, but I never went through. So it kept on bothering me. Why didn't I go through as a head girl? Now, in our school, you were not supposed to contest in your primary 7 because you're candidate.
Yeah,
but it began that year when I was in my primary 7 because they realized the capacity of P7 pupils to become leaders is much more better, especially in those top positions. Top positions to be better than the ones of P6 and P5. So in that same year when it began, I was the first head girl in my primary 7. So it kept on rolling from even when I joined high school. Now even in my senior 5, still I left my A-level because I was in the same school from O and A. I left my A-level in the head girl of the school. So that school is called Princess Diana High School. It's derived from the late Princess Diana. And that school is one that has shaped me and has molded me and has made me who I am today. Because in that school, they teach you practical work. Everything you do, it must be practical. Even if you are in class, everything has to be practical. So for leaders in that school, you must be part of the leadership class, you must be part of the debate club, so you have to learn each and everything. So from that school is where I had so much of my leadership capacity building, and from the time I joined university, I was a very good leader.
Okay. And now you will tell us if you're still a good leader currently.
Yes, I am, but I do not want to first run into the Ugandan politics because my mental health cannot handle it now. However, I will advise young people to take up leadership positions.
Yeah, but leadership is not only about in politics. You can be a leader at any.
As I am a leader,
Yeah.
I'm a team leader at LPAL, so still I'm a leader and a very good leader. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. And so, what are you doing? Currently?
So currently, I run quite a number of things. I'm a team leader for LPAL. I do run a kids shop. Okay. There is a kids collection shop that is both online and physical.
Okay.
It takes to make sure all our expectant mothers do not have to hustle to go and look for, I need a mama kit, I need this. So we make sure that we pack everything and deliver to your doorstep. You don't need to hustle. So that is the second thing. Then the other thing, I'm also a director of one of the organizations that looks after children and vulnerable mothers. Okay. It's called Revolution for Children and Vulnerable Limited. Wow. We make sure that we look after the children who are orphans in schools, who are those that are prematures in hospitals. Then we also look at the most vulnerable people in our communities. Those are the elderly, the babies, the expectant mothers. There are quite a number of them. So in that regard, we make sure that we work as a team to ensure that we raise their hopes. Wow. Because they are vulnerable and they think that they can never be the same as they used to be. Or they think that because they are vulnerable, the community perceives them different. So we raise their hopes to ensure that the community does not perceive them wrong.
Wow. This is all leadership.
Yes.
And tell us about your work ethics, things that, keep you doing what you're doing now, things that you're passionate about, what keeps you moving.
Okay, one thing is passion. Because with my passion, the passion I have to ensure that the society I live in changes is what keeps me moving. Otherwise, I would have given up already. Then also, I have some people that inspire me to do the work that I do. The different individuals I always work together with is Acting Isabella, Jamila Nayand. These people have held the society, the girl child, and other women together to ensure that when they leave, there are footprints behind. They have built a very beautiful legacy. So we look up to them to ensure that in everything that we do, we do not lose track. We must keep moving.
And there are people, following them.
Yes. Wow. So because this kind of society we live in, it's a society that has so many trends. So we move with that trend. If you look back in our society where our mothers and grandmothers, they used to think that you as a woman is supposed to stay home and cook food in the kitchen. But currently, no. A woman must go and work. A woman is empowered. A woman needs to see that she has money in her pocket. So it's quite a different. So we move with that trend. Wow. That means since the trend is on, even as a woman who are into the movement of empowering fellow women, it must be a serious movement and we do not stop.
Wow. Great work and amazing. So, Shakirah, tell us more about LPAL.
Okay.
What is LPAL? What is done here? This is not an English word. What does it mean? What do you do here?
Okay, LPAL is first of all a French word. It means she speaks.
Okay.
We wanted it to look a little different from the normal words that people speak. So we went French and it means she speaks. So specifically, LPAL looks at panel discussions, debate, and public speaking. Now, our main agenda is to ensure that we use speech as a discourse to ensure that young people are part of our discussions, not just an uttering of any words, but a discussion that is going to be very meaningful in contemporary issues in our society, in political, socio-economic issues, climate change, decolonization, and so many other aspects of our society. So because we live in a society that is so mean, I would say so mean, and it's so patriarchal, because it demeans even women. However, LPAL coming on board is not going to fight the men who are out there, but it is here to train a young child how to raise her voice in a society that they think women's voices are not speak. But here we are to train a girl child to ensure that her voice is 100% unique and it can do something better in the society. So through that we use debate. So these debates that we do, we host an annual Opal Women is Open that happens every year in May. So for this year's specific agenda, it's starting next week on 22nd.
Okay.
So usually we run this Women is Open every year, and we began in 2020. So 2020 we hosted our first edition at Makerere University Business School. Then the second edition happened at Chambogo University. Then we skipped one because there was an outbreak of COVID-19.
Yeah.
Then we had our third edition last year at Collins Hotel Mukono. We usually partner with organizations like Women's Pro Bono Initiative, Vijana Corps, Action Aid International, Imara and Forward. That's Forum for Women in Democracy. We partner with quite a number of organizations to ensure that the voice is out there. Our slogan is "Our truth must be heard." Okay. So you cannot sit here and tell me your truth that is at heart is going to be heard by someone when your voice is when your voice is low and when you're not speaking. So the voice, we want the actual voice, not just voicing, but the actual voice of a woman to be out there. Yeah. Then also the same LPAL is an umbrella that brings together different young women across East Africa. It brings women who are able to use British parliamentary debate format to debate in that Women is Open. Yes. So they come from Nairobi, Dar es Salaam, Kigali, Kampala. We come together, over 100 people, and we run a tournament. Yes. So for this year's specific tournament, it's gonna be launched today. Okay. No. It's gonna be launched on 17th. Yeah, which was yesterday. Yes. And now we shall be running our tournament starting on 22nd. Okay. This year we had a change a little bit. So it's going to be a hybrid setup where 22nd and 23rd is going to be online. We use a channel called Discord. Then on 25th we shall have a grand finale in one of the hotels in Kampala. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned that you're partnering with very different people and organizations. How which kind of, or the age bracket that the young women that you're looking at? You mentioned you handled, you're doing these debates in universities. So which young woman are you specifically looking at?
Okay, so this being an only Women's Open, so we work with university students out, that is from 20 years. Some students at universities differ age. So university students, those in and out of school, but as long as they start from 20 years, and they are able to use British parliamentary debate format. Yes. So we usually get them together. So in our program, we include the program of training these young people. So they are trained how to use Discord. They are also trained how to use British parliamentary debate format, because it's a format that is used in debates, especially for university students. Then there are also other debate formats. However, for this specific tournament, we use British parliamentary debate format. Now, apart from that, this year's theme is Sankofa. So Sankofa means, let me take the whole thing. The whole thing is Sankofa, the power of the affirming inner voice. Yes, that's the theme for this year. Now, the only word Sankofa means look back in the past and grab what belongs to you. So that is what it means. Now we added the power of the affirming inner voice. What does this mean? In our African society, many young people, especially young women, believe the things they believe in. However, society perceives them differently. I will give you an example. You would find a young woman in university who would want to start for girl president in her year one. But the ability to stand is available. Her ability to stand for that position is. However, the society within which
still restrain her.
Yes, the society within which people would say, you do not have money, you belong to this kind of a political party, you cannot stand, you cannot even, you get.
Women so really
it puts you down, and it means you cannot stand. However, your actual belief within you tells you that you can actually be a good leader here and you can stand for good president.
So that's what
Why don't you grab it?
Yes. That's what you want to bring out.
Yes. So use your voice. speak out and make sure your inner voice is what you take up in the front to ensure that you attain what you want to achieve.
Yeah. So from 2020 to now, 2024, what are some of the issues that you've identified besides the norms, the society, that these issues are holding women, the young women back? Yes.
Okay, first of all, I would say technology holds women back. Some women, however, some always follow with that trend, but technology pulls some women behind. For example, I would give you an example with climate change. This climate has changed, but you realize in some areas, those that are able to use the new technological methods are not being affected by the climate change. You understand?
Yeah.
For example, I'll give an example of the western side. People in the western now, some, instead of building houses that are grass-thatched houses, they are able to use the new technological means and ensure that their houses are at least a bit uplifted. They do not stay in the lowlands, so that when the floods come, they take over the entire house. So you realize that it keeps pulling them downwards instead of putting themselves up. Then also there are these fights that happen between the men, like I'll give an example of the violence in the homes. Violence and so many other things that men demean with the women. They think that the women who are in their homes are actually supposed to be in their homes in the kitchen. So the man would say, no, you are not supposed, because of the cultural norms. You believe as a husband that your woman or your wife is supposed to stay in the kitchen. However, currently we believe that as a mother or as a woman, you can be empowered and do something for your family.
For yourself.
So these things keep pulling women down, and yet we want to see that women rise. Yeah.
You mentioned technology. So how are you going to do, or what are you doing in particular to see that this is not a barrier anymore? Because if you do the tournament or the spaces online sessions, then what about the girl child, the woman who is in the rural area, the far to reach areas, and are not even able to access these smartphones, or even be on TV, radios? Yes, are you considering such people also?
Yes, we do. Okay, EUPAL has a program called the EUPAL Women's Leadership Academy. So this is not only to the participants, but it is open to the young women out there. Now, for this year specifically, because it will be our first year, we shall only concentrate on the top 20 participants for this year. However, in pipeline, we hope to work with organizations that go into those different villages that have access to villages that are so remote, so that we make sure that whenever we need to speak to these young people, we offer mentorship to them. We go through these different other organizations, because empowering and mentorship is a collectiveness. You can't do it alone. So we go down there and meet and talk to these young people. Then we also have an agenda to consider sexual reproductive health and rights. There are so many. Even if I come and speak to you, I may not change anything as long as your health is not fine. So a component in that leadership is something we want to build up and put a health component. So we work with organizations that make sure that SRHR is part of their agenda, to see that these young people whose voices have been lifted and have not yet been lifted, their health is also not at stake. Because we cannot empower you, and also your health is not at par with us. So we make sure that we utilize the other organizations' capacity and go down in the villages, teach girls how to do, train them on menstrual health and hygiene. We tell them what to do when they are on their menses. We tell them what happens in schools if especially boys look up to them. I think because you're near periods, you're not supposed to be in class. That is a myth, but you can still be in here. So because of also what I told you about the technological advancement, you realize that some schools in the remote areas are not even able to get lights, especially when students are in school. However, the organization, the capacity that as other organizations have to ensure that they uplift the girl child in school, they have done that. Now for us, we come on board and say, okay, thank you. Let us come and make sure that you have given this. Let us also do our part and also train them in speaking. Because girl children in remote areas, I don't know, but they're always quiet. They don't say anything.
What is the problem?
They don't say, they lack that self-esteem. That self-esteem lacks. So even if a teacher wants to rape this girl, she will not even say a word. Do you understand? So we want to see that we partner with these organizations that offer mentorship, offer SRHR, offer different things. Then we bring in our component of training young girls on how to be self-reliant, how to have the self-confidence to be able to speak up when they're in school.
Wow. And is this only when they're in school? Do you
No,
follow up?
Yes.
Even after school?
Yes. Because the agenda I want to start, especially after this year, because it's in pipeline, we've only been looking up to hosting a tournament. However, we realize there is space. There are those girls who are in remote areas, whether they are in or out of school, but they lack capacity. They lack people to come and help them through life. Yes.
Okay. And and so about the tournaments, how do you select these young women that you mentioned you have people from Tanzania, people from outside Uganda. How do you select these that come on the tournaments?
Okay, usually we don't select by ourselves.
Okay.
But we have an organizing committee that puts out a registration link publicly for the interested participants. So they fill a link and send in their details, and then they are taken on to be part of the tournament.
Oh, okay. So from 2020 to now, what can you say, or in your estimate, like how many young women have you reached out to and have benefited from this, the course that you're doing?
Okay. Yeah, I would give you an estimate of over 100 young women. It's a very big number because since 2020, our number is always up to like 32 teams, and sometimes it's 16 teams. However, these young people, when they come for this tournament, we don't only do a tournament, but we also do a panel discussion. We invite different panelists to join and speak to these young people. So we mentor them through the panel discussion. Now the follow-ups that we do is we always do a follow-up, especially when they go back to their schools. We usually call or find out, you had a plan. We usually ask them to write a small note and put it somewhere where we put a box. So in that box, everyone puts their dream. Okay. What you want to do, how you want to do it. Share with us, do not put your name. Now, when you put in a box, we come and check. Okay, me, I want to stand for guild president next year. Now, when we are doing an evaluation, we get to know how many want to take up different leadership positions, how many want to do different kind of things. So we are able to know, okay, the pool that was in this tournament, this is their dream. Okay. So we make sure we start following up. Okay, tell us about your dream for last year. How have you achieved it? So they come on and tell us. So these young people, some have stood for leadership positions in universities, others give presidents, others have been part of the National Youth Parliament. So quite a number of things, because they become a little confident. They can now speak to the young fellow, to different young people. Some have taken on positions, they even organize conferences. Wow. And someone tells you, before I joined LPAL, I wasn't able to even stand and use a mic and speak to them. But because you trained us and the panel told us what to do, especially as we are growing up, it was something that helped me to overcome my fears.
Wow, that's interesting, very interesting. Yeah. And so as LPAL, are you doing this alone? Of course, you mentioned other partners. Are you doing this alone?
Not really. As I told you, empowerment and mentorship is a collectiveness. So we don't do this alone. We work together with MEMPRO. MEMPRO is an organization here. We work with Action Aid International. We work with Visiona. We work with Debate Society Uganda. So Debate Society brings together quality adjudication panel, plus the judges that judge the tournament. Then we also work with Women's Pro Bono Initiative and even other organizations that always come on board. They partner with us and they tell you, okay, for this year, my thematic area is on to this. Also work with Akina Mama Africa and other women's political league. So they usually tell us, so my thematic area for this year is women's political league. Then another tells you it's climate change. So we share this information with the chief adjudication panel and then they inform us, we inform them of the thematic areas from which they can draw the resolutions. So these resolutions are the ones that they share with the participants and they do the discussions. Yes.
So you mentioned that you want these women, that the young women to take on these spaces. But even after taking on these spaces, there are challenges up here. Yes, and most times the women who are already in power are also putting these women that that are upcoming. Recently, I had a guest here. She said, "We are struggling so much, to raise up as young women in power. But then, as they are trying this, the people up there and basically women who are there are also trying to put them down. Exactly. How is this, And
you see, first of all, we need to acknowledge that women in leadership have also struggled to reach where they are. We need to acknowledge that. Yeah. Then also we need to acknowledge that in this society where we are, there are people who feel they own the space, and they do not want to leave that space. However, there are some also who believe that they can be in the space, mentor, and then let them go and leave the young people to take up their spaces. Now, when you look at all those different dynamics, it puts the society at a state where you either have to think so fast or do something, but everyone is struggling. Now, because of collectiveness, it's the same thing I would say, that these organizations or we young people who are frontier, we do not need to fight each other. We need to give ourselves space. We need to give ourselves a chance, to grow. Give yourself a chance to grow. Self-analyze yourself. Am I still relevant where I am? I've been in this leadership position for 20 years. Am I still relevant to it? Or I need to mentor someone and let them stay so that I can live. There is supposed to be that self-analyzation of yourself, of the work that you do. First of all, find out if you're still relevant. And also second, get to know in the same space who is doing what you do and how best do they do it. For example, I'll give an example of leadership positions in the parliament. You find minister for youth, you find another minister for youth in a different component. So all these people are youths, yes, but the capacity or the percentage of this representation in the parliament, is it what we want to see? You understand? So the representation of the young people is too low according to the number of young people who are in the country. So you see that there is supposed to be a need for us to table such discussions to the big or to the people who are in big positions to ensure that the representation in parliament, especially to these young people, is equivalent to the number of young people who are in the country. So that at least if you say you need 30% or 40% of young representatives, at least let us discuss and have clear agenda than fighting and struggling for power. It doesn't give us a sense of belonging. We always just, I wish I could take up this position. However, she will not allow me. So there should be a need for you to actually make sure you realize who you are, what your values are, and keep progressing.
And as a public speaker, yes, what to someone, a young girl who is watching you right now, as she wants, to be a public speaker or anything in that line, what are some of the skills someone can look out for to be, a good public speaker?
I wouldn't say I am the best. I am not the best.
Yeah, of course.
I am not the best.
Yes.
However, learning how to speak is a process. You don't get grow up stand up one day and you're like the best speaker. Yeah, but it calls for passion. You need to have passion in speaking, and you need to also make more research. Understand, listen. Listening is very important.
Yeah.
Listen, because if someone tells you something and you do not listen to it, you are done. You will now respond
You
in a wrong
cannot
way.
be a good speaker if you're not a good listener.
So the listening is a very important skill. Then research, make research. And if you've been given a topic, talk to research about Uganda's parliament. Just don't come out of blue and speak something. So you must make research. Then also eloquency. You must be eloquent in your speech as you are deliberating. There are quite a number of skills, but because I said I'm not the best. Yeah.
Of course. I feel that you've shared also very important.
Yes, they are very important.
Yes. Now, away from PAL, what you mentioned, you also there's an organization you talk to, and then you're also CEO of Princess Kids. Tell us also about this work and how are you able to juggle through all these roles, the responsibilities.
Wow.
You're a mother, so all these roles come in handy. How are you able to juggle through?
Sometimes my brain can be at work over 110%.
Okay.
Anyway, sometimes I have a list of things to do in a day. Sometimes I don't put that list because I will feel pressure.
Yeah.
Now, I give myself resting time on weekends, especially on Sunday. I don't take business calls. People, it's family. Like, I chill and I'm like, this time it's family. And by 3 p.m., I need either to switch off my phone, take a nap, be with my daughter, and just be me. Now, for how I juggle is, I plan how I'm going to do it. And also, I don't work alone. I work with a very beautiful team, excellent team.
Yeah.
They know what to do, they do it in time.
Even when you're not there.
When I'm not there, things keep moving. Yes.
Okay. Wow. And you're supposed to be, as women, multitaskers.
Yes, we must. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had 2 meetings at the same time, but I had to. One was abrupt, another was planned, and my brain had to think so fast.
Both meetings.
So my personal assistant was also not able to be in that meeting because she had a paper. Now I had to think so fast. What do I do? Because it calls for you must be strong as well, because you may die, God forbid, but it can be too much work. But as I told you, we have a team, so we divide the work that we do. You do this, and in a day we set our targets. Okay. In a week. This week we want to see that if we are looking out for partners to come on board for this year's tournament, you are in our partnership and strategy lead has a clear agenda for the partners to reach out. He has a program he shares that program with us. Then also the communications has a program. Then also the socials and content has a program. So everyone has a program. We get to know, okay, when is our meeting? This. You have to, so everything is planned so that we do not really break down.
Okay. And so, besides the work that you do, so if you're not at home, you're not doing work, where do we find Shakirah?
In bed. I love sleeping.
Okay.
That's where you can find me. I am no longer that. I'm not that person who always goes to bars. No, I'm not a bar person. I don't even hang out.
Because you're a young person, I should say maybe, young
I am
people.
young, yes, I am. But because I thought I am married, I have a baby. My baby is 1.8.
Oh,
she's 20 months old.
Yeah.
So, as you know how that can be, she's always on you, mother, mommy. So you can relate, and it can be very, very tiresome. So, ever since I gave birth, hangout is not yet back on my agenda.
Yeah.
If it's time to rest, I'm not on work or anything, I am in bed sleeping. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so what do we see El Pal in the coming 5 to 10 years?
10 is too far. We have we have a vision for the next 5 years. We want to be the only women's open organizer in the entire world. Yes. We organize an Elpal Women's World
Okay.
that brings women from all over the world. Yes, that is our vision. However, we are starting small. We want to see Elpal organizes the African tournament for only women in Africa, because there are many different competitions that happen that involve women. But in debate, there is nobody organizing an only women's open in Africa. So we want to start with that for the first 5 years. In the 5 years, then in the 10 years, we move to the world.
Okay. And how are you people keeping relevant? There are many, organizations working with women. Yes. So what special, thing? Of course, you're working with women, speech. But what special thing is there, to attract someone, and say, wow, Elpal is doing an amazing work.
Okay. So as I told you, the work that we do is more of intellectual. It's more of engaging. It's not command. It is not like a lecture, but it's more of intellectual part of it. And now what interests these young people to always be part is that intellectual part of it. It is fun to be part of it, and also the impact that we keep creating. When you see that young people come on board to be part of Elpal, when they leave, the testimonials that come out there inspire different young people to join Elpal, because they know this is a safe space for them to join, to be in that debate. And also even the panel is also a women's panel. However, we always make sure that to balance the gender, we have a gentleman, and also the judges are gentlemen. But the inspiration that we give back to the young people inspires them to always be part of Elpal. Then also what keeps us driving or moving Elpal to the front is our dream. Our dream is so big, and also want to see that we strengthen the voices of young women. Yes, they are there, and many organizations do the same thing, but we want to see that we strengthen. How shall we strengthen is when we use British speaking trainings, debates and panel discussions, to ensure that even in our trainings, even in the academy, we train these young people how to keep embracing speech. It means that we are mentoring these young people. So the power of debate keeps moving. That means Elpal keeps moving, and so it cannot move back.
The power of speech is very strong.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So any we usually have young women watching this show, and to a woman who wants to be a speaker, who wants to be mentored, who wants to join any political space or any other space, which word of encouragement would you give them?
Okay. Young people are so many, and they live in a very diverse environment. However, there's two things I would put out there. You own that space. You can be who you want to be, as long as you stand on your feet and take action. Then the second thing is you must be determined, because in the era we are in, it's an era of very many young people, diverse minds. A lot of things happen, but the determination to do the work that you do should be at the forefront of everything that you want to do. Yes.
And anything else in particular that you want people to know more about your work?
Okay. So I love encouraging young people to keep joining Elpal. Elpal is a free space. It is a space for young women, not only in school but also out there, specifically for women. We do not only say we host tournaments, no, but we do mentorship, we do empowerment. We have what's it called? We have Elpal Women's Leadership Academy. It's going to be training young people in school, out of school, empowering young people and everyone out there. Please be part of Elpal this year's tournament. It's going to be happening soon.
How do people get part? You say you share the links?
Yes, we share the links.
Okay.
Then we also, the entire registration fee, even observers are allowed to be part of it. Then we also thank our partners that always accept to be part of Elpal, because since it's a baby, it's growing, they are always there to see that each and everything happens. We want to say thank you to you all Vijana Cops, Male Pro, Action Aid, Imara, Akina Mama Africa. There are quite a number of them, and they have seen us grow from day one up to where we are, and we want to assure that we shall not stop. Local is a big dream. It is a very good space for women, especially those that want to embrace speech.
If you're out there and you want to be a great speaker like Shakirah, or even better than Shakirah,
I'm not a great speaker. I tried.
Yes, she tries, but you can be like her or even be better than her. Please join El Pals. Where do the people find these links? That is my question. You can maybe share your pages or where people can follow up your work. Yes.
Okay. Registration link closed already.
Okay.
Because it runs 3 months before May, before the tournament month. So we closed it long time ago. However, for those that wish to be part of it again, they have a chance of this weekend to join up to Tuesday. As the draws for the tournament shall be drawn before Wednesday, so they have up to Tuesday to join. Registration fees is 120 per team. So for people who know how to speech parliamentary debate format, it's a team of 2. So the team is supposed to pay 120, and it's a good space to be part. It's a very good thing to join.
And I would encourage all young women to be part of this.
Yes. So to follow us, you can find us on X at L Women, or you can just input El Pal Women's Association. You will see at L Women is where you can find us. If you cannot, you can follow me at Shakirah Princess. Princess has single S, so that's my Twitter handle. You can also follow us on Instagram, El Pal Women's Open, then also Facebook, El Pal Women's Association.
Alright. Yeah. So please be part of this amazing initiative and journey. Yes, we want more women in space. We want more women, as speakers, be a good speaker and a good policy. Yes, policy maker. Of course. So thank you so much, Shakirah, for coming through. You're doing amazing work, raising the young women. Yes, and we really support, and it's really beautiful to see that we have more young women, trying to fight for other young women to join.
You don't fight, it's a movement. We are moving together.
Yes, they're trying to move with you, fellow young women, and not leaving anyone behind. Yes, we need to move together as women. Thank you so much for being lovely viewers. I've been your host, Madreen. See you next week. Bye.